Hello and welcome to Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online. My name is Kelly and I'm a former wedding planner and blogger, and I'm obsessed with weddings. If you're planning a wedding in Ireland, you're in the right place. You're going to learn the tried and tested methods to planning your dream wedding without the added stress. Think of this as your one-stop shop for everything to do with planning your wedding in Ireland, with me, your new wedding planning bestie, and a cup of tea. This is Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online. Once you've booked your wedding venue, the next thing that you get to do is to bring together everything perfectly. And that's where wedding table shapes come in. My name is Kelly and I'm the host of the Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online podcast. And as you can guess, today we're talking all about the shape of your wedding tables. And you might be wondering, why is this even significant? And I will tell you why. You need to work out who's going to sit where. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in next week's episode. You also need to think about how many tables you can fit in your venue and how many people you can fit at each table. Now, before you get to this point, you will have already booked your wedding venue. And before you've booked your wedding venue, you will have made a rough guest list of who you'd like to have at your wedding. You then find a venue that can accommodate that amount of people. And then you book your venue. So hopefully the numbers already match up, that you know roughly who you want there, and you know that your wedding venue can accommodate that amount of people. But next, to try and work out how to fit everybody into the venue and how you can lay out the tables, it's really helpful to know the shapes of tables and also how many people can fit around them. So today I'm going to walk you through some different table shapes and how many people you can get around each table shape based on different sizes. And then you can start to visualize how the different table shapes could fit into your wedding venue and who can be sitting where. I also need to say that it's really important that you talk to your wedding venue and your venue coordinator, because your wedding venue will have, they would have coordinated many weddings already, and they can show you photos and videos of different layout options that they've already experimented with, which will be able to give you an indication of how many people can fit into your specific wedding venue in different table configurations. So this is really a guide for people who've never even thought about it before. It might give you some language that you can use when you speak to your wedding venue coordinator, and it could help you to visualize some different options that are available to you. So why don't we get started with wedding table shape number 1, which is round. So this is how many people can fit around different sized round wedding tables. So if your table is 36 inches, you can get 2 to 4 people around that. If you've got 48 inches, you can get 4 to 6 people. 60 inches will give you enough space for 8 people, and 72 inches will help you to fit 10 people around a round wedding table. Now, something that I love about a round wedding table is that they fit almost any style of wedding. So whether you are having a reception that is outside, in a marquee, and perhaps a little bit more relaxed, or on the far other end of the spectrum, if you're having something more sophisticated, maybe you're hosting a wedding at a hotel, round wedding tables actually work in every setting. So they aren't super formal or super casual in particular, but they really cover all bases. And so I would say that a round wedding table is a very safe option to go for, because you know that it's going to work no matter what kind of wedding you are having. Next wedding table shape is the rectangular table. So here's how many people you can fit around a rectangular table. If your table is 4 by 8 inches, you can fit 10 people around the table. So you would have 4 people on either side and then 1 person on each end. So it's 4, 4, and 2. So that is 10 people. Now, something that I love about a rectangular table is that you end up with loads of space to have things like the glasses, the crockery, and then, of course, the flower arrangements and any other kind of decor choices that you have on your tables. Rectangular tables really do give you lots of space. You can fit lots of people in, and you can have all the decor that you want on your table. Moving on to square tables, here's how many people you can fit around a square table. If you are going for a 3 by 3 inch table, you can fit 4 people. That's not inches. That would be meters. You can fit 4 people. 4 by 4 is for 8 people, and then 5 by 5 is for 12 people. Now, with all of these figures that I've just laid out, there is a written breakdown of all these numbers and how many people can fit around each table. If you want to have a look at weddingsonline.ie/blog, there's a whole section there where each podcast episode has a written excerpt. It's got a breakdown. And so if you are a visual rememberer, then I want to encourage you to go and take a look at that. So all these figures that I've just shared will be in there as well. So when it comes to your square tables, you can fit 4, 8, or 12 people depending on the size. If that's 3 by 3, 4 by 4, or 5 by 5. And just like round tables, square tables actually really do fit in with any other, any kind of reception space, whether you're going for something really formal or something more relaxed. And square tables are great if you're having a really small wedding, because square tables are smaller, and so they help to accentuate that feeling of an intimate setting for a smaller guest list. The only downside to consider is that because the tables are smaller, you will have less space for things like your glassware, your cutlery, your crockery, and then of course flowers and decor as well. So it is worth keeping in mind that if you are having square tables, you will have less space and you'll need to be a bit more minimalist in what you choose to put on those tables. How about banquet tables? Banquet tables are my personal preference, and this is what I had at my wedding. Banquet tables are effectively rectangular tables put together to form 1 or 2 long lines with people on either side of the lines, kind of like a banquet. So if you were having a big family dinner and you were pushing tables together, it's kind of like that, except the way you would set it out, instead of it feeling a little bit hodgepodge and like people have just put the tables together, you would lay out the tables in such a way that it feels more like a royal wedding banquet kind of dinner. So here's how many people you can fit around those tables. So remember we were talking about the 4 by 8 sized rectangular tables where you can have 4 people on either side. If that's the size you're going for, then really it depends on how big your wedding venue is and how many tables you can put together. So for each table that you have, you'd be able to have 4 people on either side, so it's a total of 8 people. So if you do the math, if you can fit 10 of those tables together, that would be 80 people around that banquet table. And then you would have the option to decide if you want to have somebody on either end, which accounts for an extra 2 people. So banquet tables, I said, are my favorite option. It's also the perfectionist's dream because there's something really amazing and really beautiful about seeing all the decor lined up perfectly and lined up on your banquet table. I just love it. Everything fits in well. And something I love about the banquet table is whether you're having a micro wedding or you're having loads and loads of guests, you can have that family style atmosphere, and the banquet table is just perfect for that. Now, how about the sweetheart table? A sweetheart table could be round, could be square, could even be rectangular. But the lovely thing about a sweetheart table is that that is just for you and your new spouse to enjoy together. So you lay out all the other tables however you would like, whether you're going for banquet tables, maybe you're going for square or round or rectangular for everyone else. But your sweetheart table is perfect for just you and your partner to enjoy your dinner together. Because when you think about it, the wedding goes by so quickly and things happen really, really fast, and so much is happening that you find by the end of the day you've hardly spent time with the one person that matters more to you than anyone else, and that is your new spouse. So being able to enjoy that dinner together is such a special time where all your guests can be mingling with one another, enjoying the entertainment and the meal, and you and your partner can enjoy the dinner together and have some special one-on-one time, and that's what's so good about a sweetheart table. And then finally, the final wedding table shape is actually called a head table. So you may have seen this at weddings before where everyone else might be in, rectangular table, square or round or banquet, whatever you've decided. But the head table is really there for you and your partner and then your VIP guests. So your VIPs could be whoever you decide. It could be your best man and your maid of honor. It could be your parents. It could be your siblings. It could be some kind of combination of those people. It really is up to you. And it also does depend on the size of the table. So just like we said, with those rectangular tables, you can fit 4 people on either side. In theory, you could have 2 rectangular tables right next to each other, and you only seat people on the one side of the table because, of course, you'd be looking from your table through to your guests on the other side. So you only have people on the one side of the table. The other side would be empty in terms of chairs, plates, cutlery, and that sort of thing. And you'd rather have a really beautiful flower arrangement or some decor or something instead. And so that is the head table. I love that it helps you to share the festivities with your VIPs. You can have some quality time with them. It also helps to honor them and the roles that they've played on the day and in your life as well. So a head table is a really special thing to do. But really, when it comes to wedding tables, the whole idea here is to work out how many people you can fit around different sizes and shapes of tables, how many tables you can fit into your venue in different iterations, and therefore how many people you can have at your wedding. So once again, I'm going to recommend that you have a conversation with your wedding venue, your venue coordinator, to see what they recommend based on your guest list size and the style and feel of your wedding. They may have some really great suggestions of things that they've done in their wedding venue that would really help you to make the final decision. But let me give you a quick recap of what those table shapes are. We had the round tables, which we said again are great for different types of weddings, whether it's formal or more relaxed. You have rectangular tables, you've got square tables, which have a little bit less space than the others. You've got those lovely banquet tables for the family style wedding, the sweetheart table just for you and your partner, and then of course the head table. Next week, we're going to be answering the question, should I tell my guests where to sit? Well, thank you for listening today. The Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online podcast is produced by me, Kelly, and mixed, mastered, and edited by Glenn Hartman. For more wedding planning tips, advice, checklists, and more, visit weddingsonline.ie.